freaking first cut. Golly.
Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your kind of round one recap for this week's Valero Texas Open. Joining me to break it all down, Kyle Porter is here. KP, hello, sir.
How we doing, Rick? I'm fully Masters mode, so I don't know how much help I'm going to be here.
What is one thing you learned, saw, or thought about the Masters today?
Yeah, so I wrote I turned in 3 different pieces today, and I'm working on my sort of ranking the field. So I'm about 2/3 of the way done with that. But here's a piece of trivia that just floored me because I didn't know. I mean, I think I maybe could have gotten you the answer, but I wouldn't have said it with any confidence. Smiley Kaufman won Masters appearance. And he played in the final pairing. That's almost that's impossible to do, right?
So you're saying
he played in the final pairing on Sunday.
Right. There's a couple of angles here. To be that close to contention in your first time is hard to do.
It's hard to fall out of the top 12, which get invited back.
Correct.
Might have been 16 at the time.
And then to never play it again after that is also in its own way a feat of its own.
Yeah, I can't imagine. If you go through, there have been they used to play them out of order back in the 30s, 40s. Used to just tee off with whoever whenever you wanted, which is insane. Can you imagine? It's
like just a Wednesday practice round, whoever happens to be there on the first tee, have at it.
Let's do it. Yeah. So I guess since the modern way of doing things where they actually had tee times and it was ordered by what your score was, I would bet there's never been another player that is who played in the final pairing on a Sunday and that was their only Masters appearance ever.
Yeah, you could have given me
that can't happen.
Yeah, that's really good. And you could have given me a lot of guesses at that, and I would never have gotten there.
Yeah. So that was one thing. There have only been 2 other guys. You might have seen this. Did you see this tweet?
No, I have not been on Twitter today.
Okay, good. There's only 2 guys that have ever won the Masters, their first Masters in their 15th appearance or more.
Didn't Sergio do it pretty late?
That's Sergio's one. He did it on his 19th, which is the most.
Oh boy.
The other one's hard, really hard.
Is it a modern player or no?
Yeah, it's a modern player, and you know who they are. You wouldn't. I don't know. It's just a kind of a weird one.
Okay, tell me.
Marco Mira.
I never would have got that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the angle there is just that Tiger sort of resurrected his career, or I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I'm deep in the weeds of the Masters, and then the Rosang just melting the Anwa right now.
Yeah, and the reason that I'm kind of letting all this happen is because the Valero Texas Open is not going to finish round one today. There was a lot of fog this morning, essentially 3.5 to 4 hours behind. So as the coverage has gone off air, if you're watching with us live on YouTube right now, basically the morning wave is done and the afternoon wave is getting underway, and there are still 5 or 6 golfers who have not even teed off yet. So there is a lot of golf that we are not even going to be able to speak about. So before we even jump into that, there was a little bit of breaking news on this Thursday. Do we have this graphic, Josh? We've got a team announcement for the Zurich. Max Homa and Collin Morikawa have partnered up, and they are going with the nickname Team Homakawa, and they have apparently had some Dodgers jerseys made up because that's what we're showing on YouTube right now.
I like this. Flushers only. 2 of the 7 best iron players in the world right now.
Yep. Two Cal Bears, 2 Dodger fans, 2 West Coast guys, 2 Flushers. This is good vibes only out of Team Homakawa.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I don't know that I have a comment beyond that. I mean, yeah, it's fun. Have any of the other so Hovland and Morikawa played together? Was it last year?
That is correct.
Are there any other kind of super teams right now?
I don't know if I've even seen. So I mean, Cantlay and Xander, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I assume, and this is an assumption, I wouldn't call it a super team, but Sam Burns and Billy Horschel.
Or Burns and Scheffler. I think Rory and Scheffler would be fun. I don't think they're going to play that event.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think I've seen many commitments in general, first of all.
Yeah.
Or many announced pairings.
This is
guessing.
That's between, there you go.
There you go. Okay, so Josh has it. Cantlay, Xander, Collin, Max, Billy Burns. I did see this. Matt and Alex Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
And those are the only 4 teams listed as of right now.
It's between Masters and PGA, right?
Yeah, you know what? I was just pulling up the schedule to see where it was, and because I was assuming that was going to kind of dictate what's happening here. So it's Masters, RBC Heritage, Zurich, Mexico Open. So it's the 3rd week of April. It's only a couple weeks away.
Okay. The schedule so far has been awesome, right? It's been lights out. It's about to get kind of weird because you're going to have the majors and then you're going to have the elevated events in between and then just like nothing between, like in the middle of all. I don't know. It's going to be very different. We've gotten some just bangers for like 3 straight months, and I don't think that's going to be the case for the next 3 or 4 months.
Okay, well, we shall see. We've got a little work to do here at the Valero Texas Open. There is currently, and I will preface all of this by saying currently, because by the time you're listening to this, things might have changed. A 4-way tie at the top of the leaderboard. 68 was good enough to get it done around TPC San Antonio for the first wave. Matt Kuchar, Padraig Harrington, MJ Duffy, and then with a birdie on his final hole of the day, Roberto Diaz just entered himself into the conversation.
Sure, I should have picked him for one and done.
What do you, over under Roberto Diaz finishing T18 in this event? What side do you want?
Is over...
I would say over. I would say over is worse.
Okay, yeah, I'll go over.
Yeah, me too. So you can have him in the one and done right now if you'd like.
Yeah, I didn't mean for you to take that seriously. I mean, what if Padraig Harrington wins this event?
Okay, Padraig Harrington's been awesome. Now he's playing a lot on the Champions Tour. He's made a couple cuts when he's played on the PGA Tour, but you see this dude is like nonstop on the grind. You see him trying to get longer, trying to stay fit. I mean, it would be pretty cool. I don't think it would be. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think it'd be like groundbreaking or anything like that. But I'd be happy for him. I like the idea of it.
It's kind of interesting because so he's almost 52 years old. He's 252 in the OWGR because he doesn't. I mean, he plays in Europe, but he doesn't really play. Well, he played API and Honda, made the cut at both of those. He doesn't play very much on the PGA Tour, but Davidoff has him at 126 in the world because it brings into account the Champions Tour strokes gained, the Live strokes gained, which is a good, like if we're just looking at like who the best players are, it's a good thing. It's a good way to do it. He played in the Masters last year. How did he get in the Masters last year?
I'll find out. 2022 Masters qualifications.
He's missed his last 3 cuts at the Masters. It'd be kind of sick if he got in by winning the Texas Open this weekend. Probably not going to happen, but yeah, good start by him.
He got in via qualification 15, which is okay. I mean, yeah, you should know this, or like because you're a smart guy. I mean, I don't think it's easy, but I think if I give you 15 seconds, you'll figure out how Padraig Harrington got into the 2022 Masters.
Qualification 15 is pretty. That's a pretty deep one.
It's a deep
Usually
cut.
those are like the amateur.
Yeah, you're kind of close, but not
Like the
obviously.
USAM,
Obviously
Mid-Am.
not Patrick, but you're in that realm.
Right. Oh, he finished in the top 4 at the PGA Championship.
There you go. First 4 players, including ties in the previous year's PGA Championship. That is exemption 15, qualification 15.
Yeah,
that's how we got.
There you go.
Well done. I knew you'd get there. Okay, so that's the 68s. Kuchar involved. He was somebody who was pretty popular coming into this event. The 3 unders, Garrick Higgo, Nick Taylor, Ches Reavie, and Harry Higgs. So Nick Taylor's having a great stretch of golf. We talked about him a lot in Phoenix because we couldn't shake him. He just constantly was coming down the stretch, didn't really give it up. So he's in the mix again. And then Higgo has seen a bit of a resurgence as of late after parting ways with Claude Harmon as his swing coach.
Yeah, I think I'm curious again. I apologize, but I'm just so like Masters focused right now that I'm curious about, is there going to be some who in this field at the top right now is already in the Masters? So is it, I don't think is Taylor in? He's not in. I don't think.
I'll find out. Producer
Josh says no.
Okay.
So Kuchar's not in, Padraig's not in. I mean, none of these guys. Mount Wallace?
No, Wallace is not in. His win at Punta Cana did not get him in.
So you're playing for this is like a real. I mean, they're all real wins, but this would be. I mean, it would really kickstart your year. I mean, Nick Taylor was obviously awesome at Phoenix, and to win this and play your way into the Masters, all of a sudden, that's like the best year of Nick Taylor's career, right? Mm-hmm. I know he won Pebble, but I think this would be kind of above it. So there's like, it's not going to get very much attention. I'm probably not going to watch a ton of it, write about it, but this is like a really interesting, I think, top of the board because of what's at stake in terms of the Masters.
Don't quote me on this because I was just skimming the list. I think there's like one guy in the top at least 18 who is qualified. That's Alex Noren. And okay. I don't think anybody else is. Then you start getting to like the team 19s, and these are the guys that have just teed off, like Hideki's in there and Terrell Hatton in there. They're obviously in, but like of the guys who are basically finished or just getting started or whatever, like Alex Noren is like the first guy that I believe is qualified for this.
I mean, some of those guys might withdraw, right? Like if there's any more weather and delays into Masters week.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know how clean the forecast looks the rest of the way, but yeah, I mean, we are obviously not going to finish round 1 today. If that sets us back into the weekend, and who knows? Yeah, that's an interesting subplot as well.
Yeah, it is. Garrick Higgo, 69. I'm not a huge Garrick Higgo believer. I don't even know how he's been playing this year. I just he had that weird thing where he was like on a complete heater and he won a bunch worldwide. He's got 1 top 10 in his last 25 starts worldwide, so not great. But yeah, could play his way into the Masters.
So,
another guy.
Let's play this game. Garrick Higgo's only career PGA Tour win was?
It was the one in South Carolina.
Okay, Congaree. That I honestly don't. Palmetto Championship is what the name.
Yeah, it was right before the 2021 U.S. Open
because John Rahm won. Yeah. That's right. So maybe he only wins the week before major championships.
There you go. Great call. Love that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So and then didn't he play pretty well at that U.S. Open?
No, I'm pretty sure he missed the cut badly.
There we go. Okay, I've got it right here. He missed 4 of his next 5 cuts.
Yeah.
He had won. So he won the Gran Canaria Lopson Open.
Obviously.
The Tenerife Open. No, he finished T8 at the Tenerife. The Canary Island Championship.
Yep.
T64th PGA, wins the Palmetto, MC, T41, MC. It was a false positive, right? Like he's a fine player, but he's not a win 3 times in 5 starts worldwide type player.
This was the Icarus. He flew too close to the sun. We had an Icarus reference the other day. He fly 3 wins in 5 starts and then just falls off the face of the earth. Touches the sun.
I mean, Rick, he has, so since that win, he has won 2 top 10s worldwide in the last almost 2 years. One of them was at Zurich, so that's not great. And the other was at the Sanderson Farms last year.
You want to hear something even sicker than that? I bet him at 110-1 this week.
It's just infirmary behavior.
Because I bet guys with like 0 top 10s.
I mean, is it a Derek Ernst situation?
What's a Derek Ernst situation?
Well, remember when he won Wells Fargo in like 20. Help me out here, Josh, producer Josh. I think he won it in 2013. This was insane. If you go look at I think it's the 2013 Wells Fargo Championship. He held off. It was like Phil and Rory and Justin Rose, and it was like a weird weather thing. And Derek Ernst he wasn't a good player. I mean, he's obviously like way better than us idiots, but like he wasn't a good pro. He was fine. No, he wasn't fine. He was not a good player. Here we go. Got it there?
Here's the win. And then I'm assuming we're talking about this stretch after the win here and before, I guess.
Oh, but the crazy part is that it's not that he won, it's that he beat Rory, Phil, Justin Rowe. I forgot who all was in that tournament. It was nuts. It was completely crazy.
That was the 2013 Wells Fargo Championship. There you go. Ernst, Mickelson, Carlson, Westwood, Ryan Moore, Kyle Stanley, Kevin Streelman, Bo Van Pelt, Ross Fisher, Brian Harmon, CH3, Rory McIlroy, Sergio.
It's crazy.
Luke List sighting.
Isn't that How about us breaking down the 2013 Wells Fargo Championship on a Texas Open pod?
Nowhere else can you get this. So those are the 3 unders. Patrick Rogers makes the turn at 3 under, but he's got a lot of golf to play. The 2 unders, let's see. Anything interesting with Ben Martin, Brendan Todd, Benny On, Jimmy Walker, Augusto Nunez?
Jimmy Walker's played in
he played in that Wells Fargo event that we just had up.
Yeah, he's played in a lot of Masters too. I didn't realize that. So we're putting together. Hopefully it'll be ready. It turns out databases are hard, as you know. We're putting together.
What? I am uniquely qualified to understand that statement. Yes.
You were right. The names. I mean, so for people that don't know, you'll love this. We're putting together a website called The Golf Record. It's supposed to be out any day. It's cool because we're basically trying to, whereas Rick Run Good looks forward, we're trying to look backward and look at like golf history and have you be able to have an easy way to say like, you know, who has the most top 10s in the last 10 years at the Masters or whatever. So anyway, I've been looking through a spreadsheet that has 7,000 rows on it of all the Masters tournament entrants ever. Jimmy Walker's been in like 8 of them. All that to say, the names on these guys, especially from like the 1930s, you'll have one guy that entered under like four different versions of his name. Mm-hmm. It's infuriating. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of like nicknames. Like there's a Marvin Giles III, but he went by Vinny. Mm-hmm. And you're like, man, I don't. What do you want me to do?
There is no one in this world who can empathize with you more than I can. And usually I just yell this into the void, and I'm happy that you now have to deal with the same crap that I deal with.
I mean, It's the Matt Fitzpatrick thing, right? Like when Matt Fitzpatrick was like, I want to go by Matt Fitzpatrick, 99.9% of the world was like, well, 99% of the world didn't even notice. And you're like, oh, thanks for adding an hour to my Sunday night.
You just like broke my database because you used to be Matthew.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, thegolfrecord.com. Hopefully it'll be out next week.
I am excited to see it. All right. Let me just hit the notables real quick here. So they're basically all the notable names were afternoon guys. So they are just getting started. Ricky Fowler. 1 under through 7. Terrell Hatton, 1 under 3.
Ricky Fowler.
Thank you. How about all of these guys are 1 under through either 6 or 7 holes. Hideki, Ricky, Hatton, Siwoo Kim, Corey Connors. So
who finishes highest out of that group at the Masters next week? Probably not Ricky, but out of the others,
probably not Ricky. Terrell, but you're going to say Corey Connors.
Yeah, they're all pretty interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
Hideki T14 last year, even though he was hurt.
Siwoo will finish third or 93rd.
Siwoo's sick at big events, like just no clue what you're getting. And Corey Connors is the only player besides Cam Smith to finish in the top 10 at the Masters each of the last 3 years. So pretty interesting group there that is trying to play their way in, not play their way in, but play into form going into Augusta National.
Okay, well, listen, we are going to continue this conversation, but first we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners. And we're back. I am under the impression that the Final Four will conclude this week. So they'll play, I guess, what, 4-2, 2-1. They don't make the college kids play a consolation game, huh? For third.
No, I mean it. Yeah, I think there would be more interest around that than around a Dell match play consolation. No.
Do they play a consolation game no? Because the bowls are like kind of their wait. Now that there's a playoff in the bowl games, do they play a third place game?
No, they play it in the World Cup. Olympics, I guess. Some sports have like the third place deal.
You'd think that there would be enough money in college basketball and football that having that extra game they would have made that happen by now.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing because it's like you if you're a fan of one of these teams or you're following it, you travel, you go all the way to the Final Four from Connecticut to Houston or San Diego to Houston. And it's like, man, I'd love to see like more than 40 minutes of basketball.
Yeah, and they're like all the teams are already there. Just play the game.
We should get. I mean, we can get this implemented, right?
They should put us in charge of everything. All the sports, all the leagues, all the organizations. We should be in charge of it all. Like sports czar.
I mean, I see no problems with this.
What could possibly?
I see no issue. What would you change about golf first? You would implement the 128 player match play. Yeah,
I would burn the broadcast contracts and do it from the start. I would. Man, there's probably a lot of things I would do.
Wait, you would walk me through that? You would do it. You would do what?
I would take whatever the current existing television contracts are. I would shred them, dump gasoline on them, burn them.
Okay. That's probably excessive, but okay.
Put them in the bottom of the ocean, whatever I need to do. And then we would probably have like if I'm the golf czar or the PGA Tour czar, I might have like a PGA Tour channel and broadcast everything, every shot, all the time, no exceptions. I would expand the data tracking to every single event and every single shot that's hit. I would.
So we're under the presupposition that czars have unlimited money
and power. Yeah.
And power. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I would do?
What's that?
I would have Augusta National license their app to all the other majors.
Oh, that'd be so good. Did you see the little nugget that? So I think Chad Mumm tweeted this out. Chad Mumm, the executive producer of Full Swing, that when they were meeting with like Augusta National, when they were meeting with Netflix about the doc, the guys at Netflix said that basically the second best streaming app in the world is the Masters app.
Think about that. Think about how crazy that is. That and you know, I think I'm a little surprised by it every year, and maybe we shouldn't be, because I think Augusta is sort of low key always been a little bit on the cutting edge of. I mean, if you go back and look at some of their stuff from like the 50s and 60s, it's like, hey, we care deeply about the way our product is presented, which is wow, what a concept, you know. And there's been a through line there that they've maintained seemingly at the expense of short-term gain,
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not a lesson in like long-term sustainability, then like just I don't know, go pound sand. Like if you're not looking at that and saying, man, seems like Augusta National's like doing pretty good. I wonder what their strategy was. It just is like, it just seems so obvious.
And that app gets used once a year for a week, and it's like the second best streaming app in the world.
It is funny. The Netflix guys are like, well, besides ours,
right? Besides ours. My whole point about most of this was the fact that bring that graphic back up. That Final Four is on CBS, so you can watch it Saturday. Let's see. The semifinal games are 3 Eastern, and there is 6 o'clock Eastern for Florida Atlantic and San Diego State. That's the early game. Then Miami and UConn. There you go.
My son thinks
8:49 Eastern.
My oldest son thinks Miami's going to win. Speaking of my kids, we're doing our annual Masters draft tonight.
Oh, good luck.
So pizza party, the 3-year-olds involved this year, which is just going to be chaos. I have the 4th pick.
Okay.
So my son Jack has the first pick. He's 6. He's already thumping his chest that he's going to take Rory.
Smart.
Second pick is my daughter Hannah. She said she's going to take Scheffler.
She's always solid. She picks solid teams.
Really good. She always gets ice cream. Jude, my 9-year-old, is 3rd, and he's truly my son because he's panicking over Spieth or Rahm.
He's just gonna make like a last second like gut feel like that's so good.
Yeah, so he's got whatever Spieth disease I have also. And I'm curious about, I've got the 4th pick. Who, like, if Rahm's there, I take him, right?
Yeah.
If the top 3 go, like, he should take Rahm over Spieth.
Yeah.
He might not because, again, it's hereditary, apparently. Who do I take?
I hate that I heard that. Did you hear Spieth say like his game is like complete? Did you hear this?
Wait, was this on that like morning podcast thing that he did
with FanDuel? I think it was.
Yes, I did hear this.
I hate that. I actually think it is actually it's not even ill-advised if you did take Jordan Spieth. I mean, he has the 4th shortest betting odds. So like Vegas likes him in the 4 spot. Obviously the history, if he's feeling himself, he's playing well. If it's not Spieth, I think I would take like Xander.
To be fair, he's sort of always feeling himself. I just don't know if that's like an indication of whether I should be confident in him. I'm gonna throw a tweet to Josh here because I want him to pull it up here in a second. Xander, yeah, maybe Cantlay has been so lousy in majors.
That's why I shied away from Cantlay. Your other options might be
Cam Smith.
Good luck, man. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into there.
I agree. I don't like, and people, I mean, the live stuff is already just, next week's going to be nuts, dude. Like the live PGA Tour rhetoric. If Patrick Reed or Cam Smith or DJ contends for this thing, it's going to be wild. You know who I might take if I don't take Spieth in the 4th position is Cam Young.
Wow. It's a bit aggressive, I think.
Okay, so
wouldn't you take like Homa over Cam Young? Or Collin Morikawa over Cam Young?
I would take Morikawa. Yeah. Morikawa is low key playing really, really well. So this is a Spieth tweet. Like thinking he's going to play well this year kind of checks out because he has stayed pretty true to what his first 3 months of the year have been over the course of his career. So if you go back, his best 3 months leading into the Masters ever was 2015, and he wins. His second best was 2017. He finished T11. His third best was 2016. No, 2021 T3. I mean, it kind of matches up. His Augusta finish usually matches up with what his form has been.
It is impossible that he only has one green jacket.
I wrote it yesterday and I was like, I don't, because like you kind of joke about it and whatever, but I legitimately wrote it for an article and I was like, I don't even believe what I'm writing here.
I have a couple more things, but how there might have been a comment on this. How, like, what is Butler Cabin going to be like if Scheffler has to put a green jacket on a live guy?
I mean, it's gonna be weird, dude. I think this is the sort of like the biggest moment left, unless other people go. This is kind of like okay, this is what it is for the next however many years. And the Masters is always this sort of like, it's always like a State of the Union, right? Like this foreshadowing for like, okay, where's golf at right now? Fred Ridley talks, and you Tiger talk. You know, there's just all this stuff going on. And I mean, what if like we're in our group chat today, another group chat. Somebody said, "What's the craziest scenario?" And somebody's like, "Phil, of course." Like Phil winning the Masters this year would be probably the craziest sports story of all time, I think.
It would be, because now he's like Dark Phil, right? Now he's like villainous Phil. Now he's like Black Spider-Man. I don't even know if Black Spider-Man is an evil version of Spider-Man. I just know he wears the black suit. I didn't read those comics, but like, yeah, it's like, it would be pretty crazy.
I legitimately think it would for sure be the craziest golf story of all time. And maybe the craziest sports. You go and start a multi-billion-dollar league for a foreign government and then come back and win the Masters after missing it the year before because you were maybe suspended from it.
Oh, boy. I hope he's got a presser next week.
There's no chance. He has a better chance of winning than having a presser.
Oh, boy.
I mean, the best chance is Cam, right?
I think there's like three. I think it's like
DJ.
Cam, DJ, Neiman.
Yeah.
I think those are the three best chances. Outside chance, Answer, Brooks. Outside of that, Bryson. Outside of that, Phil. Reed somewhere in the middle.
Bryson is like, I don't know what's happened.
I'm not sure he does.
I mean, is he just like is he just like in the Mr. Beast YouTuber category now? Like he's just a YouTuber?
Was it you and I that talked about this where like somebody told me or us, or I don't know if we talked about this, where he just practices constantly, but he like never plays golf. Like he is just at the range.
I believe that.
Like with the launch man or the whatever track man.
Launch man.
I'm gonna go get that domain right now. TM Launchman TM.
For sure, it's taken. It's probably $50,000 on GoDaddy.
And I'm gonna find out right now. And but like never plays golf, which is like the opposite of what Jordan Spieth told us he did growing up, right? Where he's like, oh, I just like went and played. I didn't even really.
It checks out though. I mean, I think Scheffler's a guy that plays a lot of golf. Like Scheffler, I mean, I think he's also said he likes to practice, but I think his practice is like, hey, I'm going to play 27 today. I'm going to play 36 today or whatever. So I think it makes sense. I
can get launchman.net for $14.99, but I cannot get launchman.
What's .com?
They want me to talk to a broker, and
they'll broker it for you.
They want me to pay $70 to see if they can broker a deal. I can assure you, I cannot afford launchman.com. So
$69.99, I think. I've been down that road before.
Yeah, so let me see if I can broker a deal. Sure. Last thing, the other thing that I would do if I was a golf czar, there would be no more corporate names in the names of the tournaments.
Yeah,
this would just be the Texas Open.
I would make everything the place, like the location. I think place matters. I think it brings gravity to like your tournament. I would also play the Ryder Cup twice a year, so maybe don't listen to me.
I would call it, so instead of the RBC Heritage, just call it the Heritage, right? And it's the Palm Beach Shootout instead of the American Express, or excuse me, the Palm Springs Shootout. My brain is fried at this point, obviously. But yes, I would absolutely remove all of those, because that's the most short-sighted thing that I think golf does, where they've actually done a pretty amazing job of creating legacy and history when the names of the tournaments are constantly changing, and we all agree that retroactively, oh yeah, Tiger's won WGC Mexico or whatever.
It's like could not be more in on that take.
Grab this, and Paul, so I've already thought of this, Paul, grab this comment. It says, so our purses are going to be $50K, I guess, with no corporate names. Call it the Texas Open presented by Valero, because that gives Valero.
Also, like, corporations don't pay. I mean, that's not the only thing they're paying for.
Yeah, there's going to be a ton of signage there. There's going to be a ton of stuff throughout the year. You're going to get access to players. There's like a million other things, but everyone will drop the presented by. We'll call it the Texas Open. The players will call it the Texas Open, and you can give Valero like a little nod.
Weigh in. Again, we have unlimited money, so we can subsidize it if we need to.
Exactly. There's no problems with this whatsoever. Okay. Well, we made the most out of like not that much golf being played.
Last thing, Rose Zhang gained 8.75 strokes on Wednesday. She gained 7.3, I think it was, on Thursday. She's gained over 15 strokes in the first 2 rounds of the annual. It's a bloodbath.
I always get a little bit nervous in these situations where I'm like, God, if she loses, like that would be so devastating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a Tiger in '97 situation. I pulled the Colin Montgomery quote where he said, "We're all human beings here, but there's no way Tiger Woods is going to lose this golf tournament." Because Nick Faldo's not in second, and Tiger Woods is not Greg Norman, which is kind of a sick quote. That's how I feel about Rose Zhang. She's gonna roll on Saturday. Josh is coming at me in our chat.
Yeah, he says she hasn't shot under par at Augusta yet, but she might not need to.
Exactly.
All right, we will be back after Friday's conclusion of the coverage. We'll see where we're at in terms of the Valero Texas Open and everything else that's going on in the world of golf. Big thanks, producer Josh, doing all the hard work behind the scenes. Kyle Porter at Kyle Porter CBS. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.